Studies show that more than 70% of people are searching for new jobs because they are dissatisfied with their current job. Are you one of those people? Now you know it's definitely time to quit your job, or at least change your job if you start seeing some of these signs. Now, as someone who struggles with change, I can understand how difficult it can sometimes be to come to that conclusion that it is time to quit your job. Before I decided to make the move into my current role, it took me several months to come to the conclusion that my time was up in the job I was doing. Mind you, I actually cooked up several excuses for why I should stay there. And if you're watching me right now, you might be in that situation too. Now, here's the big question. Would you rather earn more and be happy, or earn less but you enjoy your work? I think that's usually the dilemma, isn't it? Now hold your answer there, but watch this video to the end and let's see whether your answer changed. Now don't forget to put your thoughts in the comment section. If you notice a combination of 2 or more of these 5 things consistently, then you may want to start looking for another job ASAP. Number 1, it's what is called downward comparison. When you start to compare your job to the worst case scenario. Now, downward comparison is a type of social comparison where a person compares themselves to someone they perceive as less fortunate or worse than themselves. The goal of this usually is to improve one's self-esteem. There is something we all have been raised with, and it's this mantra of be happy with what you have. Now, if you say this as a way of telling yourself to be happy where you are currently while you are building your nest, then cool. But if be happy with what you have is your way of saying it could be a lot worse, so let me just settle for this one that I have, then this is the problem. It could be a lot worse is a mantra we sometimes employ to make ourselves feel better. But you know what? It is possible to actually experience better, not just in our imagination. Stop trying to endure everything. There should be a limit to what you can endure on your job. By the way, this reminds me of something I used to say about people in developed countries who like to complain a lot about what they regard as hardship. I like to compare them with the worst case scenario of people in underdeveloped countries who are truly suffering. You know what we really call suffering. And what was my point? That these people do not understand what hardship really means if they are complaining in their developed countries. I always say that they have no right to complain, that it could be a lot worse, you know. Why do we always attempt to compare our situation with the worst case scenarios? Why decide to make downward comparisons if at all you are going to make comparisons? Look, I do not claim to be in the absolute right in my analogy of things, but when it comes to career growth, having a worst case scenario comparison mindset is an anomaly. You may want to consider whether that job is really worth continuing. Why do you settle for good enough when you can strive for more, something greater? Maybe try changing your mind from it could always be worse to it could always be better. Like, go for more. Before I go on to the next crucial sign, let me give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Lemfi. I use Lemfi to make all of my transactions internationally whenever I send money home. You can send money from the US, UK, or Canada to 10 African countries completely free of charge, and they have the most competitive rates out there. If you are new to Lemfi, you can use the link in my description below to sign up, and you can earn £15 when you send at least £100 for the first time when you use the referral code on my screen. Alright, another sign that screams loudly that you need to leave your current job and find something better is when you start to sacrifice your health for your job. I'm not just talking about the health of your body, it encompasses your whole being, your body, your soul, your spirit. One of the things I think people don't really take into consideration, which is really important, is their mental health. Have you seen those people who practically don't have a life outside of their job? Monday through Friday, morning to night, they are working. You sacrifice relationships, your kids, no time for mindfulness or meditation. Even your body is getting worn out. Is this really the way to live the short life that we all have here on earth before the great beyond comes for us all? Or can there be something better? I don't think any job is worth sacrificing our well-being for. So start looking for another job or think towards entrepreneurship. You can start a business. It might, of course, not be easy at first when you start a business, but it's better that you own your own thing that is going for you than slaving away as an employee somewhere, having no time and no life for anything else. At least if you build your own business, you may come to that point someday where you can have some rest and some peace of mind. But for now, while you are still in employment, I think it's okay to look for the kind of job that supports your physical well-being and your mind, not one that keeps draining you and you're getting burnt out. Number 3, when your job is no longer in alignment with your definition of success, it might be time to leave. Now, success can mean a lot of things to different people, and when it comes to your job, you should be sincere enough to define what success really means to you. For me, top two things that come to mind when I think about what I consider to be success on a job are: one, opportunities for growth and new challenges, and secondly, is the compensation a match for the workload? My dear, if at any point the job stops ticking these two boxes, at least very well for me, it's usually time to start considering a change. And I don't care how much I love working at that place, there comes a time when you might just become like a robot on the job because you don't look forward to anything extra. You just go to work, do the same exact thing over and over again, nothing new, no new challenges, no new courses that you are doing, nothing to stimulate your mind. It's a sad place to be. And as human beings, we ought to keep learning. And if that is not the case for your job, at least for me, I wouldn't be there. So you might want to define what your job success really is and check if your current job aligns with it. If not, move. Number 4, toxic work relationships. I have had really bad experiences before. Days when you just come home and use the rest of the day wishing that the ground could just open up and swallow all of your colleagues. Just so you can have some peace of mind. Think about how your colleagues can make you feel at work. Do you really feel like you belong at your place of work? Or are you just struggling through every day? Particularly for us nurses who work shifts. There are certain shifts that when you work with certain kinds of people, you just know that your day, it's hell for you. Do you really want to continue working there? Do you think you can continue to endure that difficult manager long term? Do you enjoy waking up and going to work without already feeling that someone is definitely going to ruin your day? If none of your answers to these questions is a hell yes, then maybe consider moving. You might need it. Number 5 is lack of alignment with your life goals. Why have you decided to remain in a job that has zero alignment with your career or life goals? Why? Just why? You always dread the night shifts even after 1 year on the job. So what are you still doing there, for crying out loud? If your manager can't afford to give you day shifts, even after you've tried to discuss your situation with them, what are you still doing there? Wake up. Your life is not tied to a job. Just move. You're always tired from work. Always. You don't even have time for your friends, no time for your kids, no time for family. Can't you see what is going on here? Start looking for something better, whatever better means to you. When you start to see your concentration diminish at work with associated burnout, think again. It might just be time for a change. Look, burnout is a major problem for many employees, and I've passed through it myself. And sometimes most people don't even recognize that what they're experiencing is burnout. If you want to know more about burnout and how to manage it effectively, please check this video here. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this one. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.